Today's guest on episode 14 of Keepin' It a Hundo is our biggest guest we've ever had, figuratively and literally. He's 6'5", 300 pounds allegedly. He's the two-time heavyweight champ of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe. Boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, has kind of declined since the 90s. In my opinion, the last great heavyweights were those guys. You got Bowe, you got Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. Keep in mind, Bowe took out Holyfield 2 times. His only loss came to Holyfield. He's lost 1 time. He's the first guy to ever knock Holyfield out. He's been involved in so many memorable fights, like the time Fan Man crashed into the ring and the parachute. There's the fight against Andrew Galata where Galata was attacking his family jewels. I feel like he was truly underrated, one of the all-time greats. He was also a big humanitarian. He took a trip over to Somalia in a private jet with 30 people and donated about $2 million of his own money for medical supplies and food. I mean, the guy idolized Muhammad Ali. He tried to emulate him. He even briefly joined the Marine Corps after retiring at age 28. He's also had some legal issues since retiring, including an 18-month stay at a federal prison for kidnapping his wife and kids. He did some kickboxing in Thailand. This guy's come a long way since his tough upbringing in East New York and Brooklyn. When he was a teenager, his sister was mugged and murdered for her welfare check. That is like the epitome of a hood crime. And his brother contracted AIDS from hustling in the streets and eventually died. Considering where he came from, Riddick Bowe made quite a life for himself. My boy Xavier Powell works out of the gym Bowe works at. X is friends with all those guys over there. You ask, where did the great heavyweights go? That's where they are. They're hanging out at this gym near the Seminole Hard Rock. Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, Shannon Briggs. Anyway, X linked me up with the champ, and I spent the whole day with him. Just me and Big Daddy Bowe. We did the pod. We ate lobsters. I even motivated him to work out a little bit. Something he definitely doesn't like to do. So without further ado, I'd like you to meet my new friend, the 2-time heavyweight champ of the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes. Who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me.
What's that? Like a halfway house next door? I seen a bunch of people out there. It looks like that type of place.
No, yeah, it could be halfway because I know every time I go past, somebody's coming on, somebody's coming out. I think it's what do they call it?
Recovery sober house or something.
That's what it is.
That's what it seems like.
So where you from?
Where you think I'm from?
Sound you from New York.
Boston.
You from Boston?
Yeah.
Oh, that's close.
Everybody, the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston, man.
But you don't have much of an accent to me.
Not that strong.
Yeah.
I've been in Miami for 20 years.
Oh, that's
I live in Miami. I go between Miami and Chicago now because my girl lives in Chicago.
Chi-town.
Yeah, man.
I love Chicago. If I would have moved from here, I'm going to Chicago.
You like Chicago like that?
I love Chicago.
Yeah, it's a cool city, man. To me, it's like New York, but cleaner.
Yeah, really. Let me find out. I never heard nobody put it like that.
Yeah. So you still got the chicken joint in Harlem?
No.
Nah?
Me and the guy who doing it together, we fell out. I haven't actually, I think he texted me on Facebook this morning. So, I guess it's been 3 years since I spoke to him.
You be getting chicks sliding in your DMs on Instagram?
They been trying to. I was trying to stop them.
Trying to stay out of trouble?
Hey, man. My wife, she go crazy sometimes.
Today's guest is the champ, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe. 2-time heavyweight world champ. This is Keepin' It a Hundo. We're here at the
Heavyweight Factory.
What's that?
The Heavyweight Factory.
The Heavyweight Factory in we in Davie or
Miami, Florida.
Hollywood or somewhere. We're in South Florida somewhere. I've always wanted to call someone the champ.
You kicked him with the champ.
Never kicked it with a champ before. So
I'm glad I'm the first.
It's an honor.
Likewise.
So you grew up in Brownsville.
No, actually I grew up in East New York. moved to Brownsville maybe 2 years before I started getting recognition.
Just as bad.
So I'm not really from Brownsville.
Okay.
But I'm from East New York. But if you want to say Brownsville, that's what it is.
I saw a documentary about how bad the cops were in East New York, like real crooked ass cops.
Well, see, I'm not familiar with that because I wasn't the type of kid to be in trouble and things like that. So I'm really not familiar with it.
That's good. So how'd you avoid the streets? I mean, I know boxing kept you out of trouble, but like, there's a lot of time in the day other than the days that you're boxing. You know what I mean? Like
But I guess for me, at the age of 13, my brothers were in and out of jail, and I seen my mama cry. And people don't know this, but I think because of my mama, I was so determined to make it out of the ghetto. I didn't want to see her cry. I just wanted to make her happy.
Make her proud.
Right. So I finished high school. She came to my graduation.
One of your only family members to finish high school, right? Second one.
Me and my brother. But he's 11 years my senior. So I just wanted to make my mother happy. So I finished high school and I became the heavyweight champion of the world. And I think my work ethic was because of her. I seen her get up every night going to work.
Plastic factory.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I didn't see all the things I saw. I don't think people would know me today.
So you went to the same middle school or junior high as Mike Tyson?
I was in the third grade, public school.
And he was what, a year or two ahead of you?
I'm really not sure. I think we were on the same level.
Okay.
Maybe he was, because he's older than me.
Yeah, I thought he was older than you.
He might be 2 years my senior. Yeah, let me tell you a little story about Mike. He and I never had no beef or nothing like that. But as a kid, he let me know he respected me. Because he was behind me, but he was beating the guy that was in front of me. So he got out of line and he went around me to get to who he wanted to fight. So even as kids, he let me know he respected me.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I never really paid him any attention or anything like that. But after that, we saw, hey man, what's up? We always had a lot of respect for each other. And then one day, I seen him, I was like, wow, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. I was surprised he was boxing. And from then to now, we've always been kind of cool. But I noticed, if I were to go to a location, he's there, he don't even speak to me.
Really?
No.
You think it has something to do with, I heard him saying how he didn't want to fight you when he got out of prison because he said, I respect him too much. He's my friend. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to hurt my friend. And then I heard you say that you said, I think he's full of shit. I think he just don't want to fight me because he knows I'm going to put my foot in his ass.
Well, that plays a part. You look at Mike Tyson. He's what, 5'11". I'm 6'5". And my jab,
he's gonna have a problem.
My jab is impeccable. How you gonna hit me?
Can't reach you.
I whooped Holyfield twice. Holyfield whooped him twice. So
do the math.
I mean,
you're not a mathematician, but you can figure it out.
Absolutely. But other than that, I don't really have a beef with him. Other than that, if we were to get in the ring, we were fighting. Just like with Holyfield, we'd be cool afterwards. So I would that would. But I don't know. I guess he took something personal, and when I see him, he don't speak.
When's the last time you seen him?
About 6 months ago.
And he don't even say hello?
I walked out there, man, what's that? And he had his back to me. He turned and gave me one of them looks. All right. That let me know he didn't want to be bothered. So I left it alone. I ain't mad with him.
So, one of the things I've noticed about him, but this ain't about him, I want to talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
He dealt with a lot of trauma growing up.
Right.
He did. And you did as well.
Right.
And I did too. So I went through some therapy and things like that, and I learned a lot about what made me as the stuff that I went through as a kid. Mm-hmm. It made me who I am today.
Right.
Now, I don't know, have you ever been to any type of therapy or anything like that?
I just roll with the punches, baby. I mean, I guess my mama taught me if something happened, you're going to deal with it this way or whatever. But so, I mean, if something happens, I got to deal with it like I have. I deal with it, but then after a while, I set it down and it's over with. What are you going to do?
I just remember Eddie Futch saying when he started training you that you were possibly the best fighter he's ever trained, and he's trained 20 something heavyweight, 20 champs.
A lot of them, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. That's just
He helped Frazier beat Ali.
Right.
I mean, say no more. But he also said you might have been too immature at the time to handle what you were, the fame and the everything you got. And to me, let me tell you what I think. Mm-hmm. To me, your upbringing had a lot to do with it, because emotionally you weren't prepared to handle that type of thing. Because I was emotionally messed up, and what I learned in therapy is when you deal with trauma, it kind of stunts your growth. Like physically, you're a big, strong man, you're 25, 30 years old, and you're the baddest motherfucker on the planet. But emotionally, you're still a kid. And that's how I was.
At 25?
At 25, you're still, because your growth stops.
Well, my thing is, I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think it was the logistics of boxing. For example, listen, I didn't grow up negotiating. So I didn't negotiate a lot of my career. So I think because I wasn't able to negotiate, I was frustrated. But not frustrated with people, pretty much myself. I'll give you an example. Rock Newman told me one day.
Try not to whack the table. It's
Okay,
going to come up on the mic. Nah, it's cool. I just don't want to miss what you're saying.
Right. Rock Newman told me, I said, come on, man, let's go do this meeting together. And he said, nah, Bowe, you need to run. You got to stay in shape, look good for the public. And I took that. I said, okay. But here I am, 25 years later, and I realized because I didn't go to that meeting like I said in my mind I should, I don't know what took place. How do I know I got the right money? Because of the fight.
Right.
These things I didn't know. So I just went by what he told me. So as time went on, I guess I got frustrated, and I took my anger out in different ways. That's what happened.
So I can tell you, most of the friends I've made as I've grown up, most of them didn't have a father around. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the main things I respect about my friends, because I admire that.
When you say father, what is that? What is father?
But that's the thing. Like
I never had a father.
Exactly. And I admire that about you, that you made it to where you did without a father. Like, you didn't have a father figure, really.
Yeah, I had my big brothers, but they were doing their own stuff, and, you know.
I find that impressive, because I was messed up going through my issues growing up, and I had a father. Mm-hmm. If my father wasn't there, I would have been all messed up. Yeah. I wouldn't have, because first of all, he was a good example. Second of all, I knew I was going to get my ass beat if I stepped out of line. Mm. And you just didn't have that, and a lot of my friends didn't.
Well, my mother played that part.
Sure.
And I think she did a good job, you know. Again, like I say.
She's still alive?
Yes. She's 85. As a kid, I never got in any trouble. And really, as an adult, I really got no trouble until I was, 31 years old. And that was a domestic situation. But other than that, I don't go to jail. I never, you know.
But the danger that you guys dealt with, I know you lost a sister to violence.
Come out the house, you be looking at my house, see anybody who's behind the garbage can over there. That was a worry, you know.
Your sister got mugged and shot or stabbed, or?
Well, let me see. I got a call one night, or we got a call one night, and the police were telling us that she had, I'm thinking, I haven't thought about it in a while. Yeah, she was stabbed several times. And,
for her welfare check.
Right.
That's a hood crime.
They took her to the hospital, and they didn't know if she was going to make it or not. And she didn't make it.
It's crazy. So growing up, I heard you were quite a stick man.
A stick man.
A cocksman. Fucking with the older women.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean,
some teachers.
I mean, I just love them all, man. I had no shame in my game.
How old were you when when you first started?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe it.
I believe you.
5 years old.
With like a babysitter? Who like?
Was it a baby?
Who you fucking with at 5 years old?
My sister, one of her friends came over to the house. And my sister wasn't there. I believe I was 5 or 6 years old, and you know, she wanted to talk to one of my older sisters, and
How old do you think she was?
I guess she had to be
15.
something like 12, maybe 13, between 13 and 15. She said, Riddick, I'm gonna teach you a little fresh ass something. And she grabbed my hand, took me in the room, and she turned me out. I've been a pimp ever since.
So how does the? I heard stories about you and your teachers in like high school.
Right.
How'd that go down?
Well, you know, when you're a popular person, I guess they may be a little older, but then they wonder. You know, I guess they.
You're traveling the world as a teenager.
Right. So I may come in from Romania one day. I remember I went to Romania. Teacher Riddick, she was talking to me, and then 10 minutes into the conversation, her voice changes. You know, she wanted to get a little closer to me, and you know, one thing led to another.
In the classroom?
In the classroom.
Like after school?
And, right. Then one day, a teacher told me, she looked with it. What time you get out? I got out at 2 something. Mm-hmm. She was right there in front of the school with her car. We went to her house, and you know, things happen. Man, it's funny. How you doing all that, man?
Got to do a lot of research in this job, you know.
Man.
I want to ask you the right questions. I don't want to just talk about who you beat up. Everyone knows who you beat up.
Right. It was a headline, but as a kid, man, being a boxer and whatever the case may be, I truly believe that a person shouldn't have as much fun as I had, man. I had a ball growing up. I mean, going to school and meeting different people. I guess that's why I love everybody. Like, I noticed how you walking like, oh, hey, man, I just spoke to you. I just love people, man. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm the type of guy to where I don't see color until you mention it now. If you call me a nigga or whatever, then I see you different. But
I'm sure not a lot of people call you that word.
Better not. She's everywhere.
Am I cool to park right in this parking lot right
Yes, So, other than that, man, I mean, I just love everybody. And it's up to them to mess that up. You know what I mean?
What about women? You like all shapes and sizes and colors and creeds?
Don't make me no different. White, brown. I don't see color.
You got no preference?
Don't make me no different.
So you had an uncle that was a fighter?
Yes, my mother's brother.
Did you have a close relationship with him?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So you were just aware that he was a fighter?
Right, and I never seen him fight or anything like that. I was saying, hey, champ, I respect him or whatever, but we seen each other in passing. It wasn't like we had a real, I guess because there was a big age difference, 50 years between us, so. Yeah.
So you had your first girlfriend, this girl Judy. You end up marrying her.
Judy. The first real girlfriend I had, her name was Barbara. Okay, let me tell you what happened. So, I'm dealing with Barbara. I met her in high school, and I was crazy about Barbara. And I think about her often. The thing was, you got Barbara, she was just bagging his shirt. Oh, man. Talk about somebody that was beautiful. Now, here you go. I run across Judy, who was light skinned. Totally the opposite.
Yeah.
One is dark skinned, one is light skinned. And so I was talking to Judy, and maybe 2 or 3 months went by, and then, one day she popped up at my house. And I was just so bewildered because all this time she didn't pay me no attention. But she popped up, and she popped up at my house at 10:30. I walk my mother to work. People don't know that. I walk my mother to work every night at 10:30.
She worked the graveyard shift.
But she had to be at the factory at 11 or 12 or something like that. And I would walk. Well, this particular night, Judy walked with us. And we walked back after we walked my mother to the job, we walked back to my apartment. Don't you live around the corner? Nah, I'm chill with you for a little while. Anyway, make a long story short, one thing led to another. And by 12 o'clock, 12:30, I was doing my thing. I was doing my thing. So she gets up, washes up, and she leaves. And then the next day, it was a repeat. But for a whole week, we did this. And then, she's pregnant. Okay. Me, I never had to deal with that type of situation, so I don't know what you're supposed to do. But to make a long story short, she has a baby in 6 months. How can you have a baby in 6 months and the baby is not?
I already know. It's not yours.
Right. But me, I've been in Russia 1 week. I'm in Yugoslavia the next. And I'm in Colorado Springs. So what happened? I never put the time together. But I guess she was one of them stick jokers, and
When Big Daddy's away,
the cat gonna play.
exactly.
But no, she was pregnant before I touched her.
Mm-hmm.
So Riddick Bowe Jr. is not my biological kid.
And you already figured that out, like blood tests and everything.
I took a blood test and everything.
That's crazy.
But he's,
You have a relationship with him?
Yeah, Now listen, it's so funny. Me and Judy have, 4 or 5 kids together.
I mean, you married her for how long? 15 years?
Right. And he's the only kid that calls me now. My biological kid don't have nothing to do with me. Ain't that something?
Why is that?
I guess their mother told him something or whatever, but he is the only kid that calls me.
Where's everybody live now?
I think in North Carolina. What time is it?
It's 11:25.
Fooling with you, man.
You need water? You good?
Hey, Slick, can you pay me the soda out the freezer, please? I'm gonna leave it right there. This up the other time. Can you pay me the soda out the freezer? Thanks a lot. Put on 2% 11 o'clock. No.
Coke?
Yeah, I guess. It'll work. That's the only one in there.
There's 2 of them. It's unopened though.
No, just
Yeah.
Man, you all right. Thanks so much. What else? So anyway, I guess once she got pregnant, she stayed underneath me. And you're the first person I'm telling the story to. She stayed with me. So how would I know this baby wasn't mine or whatever the case may be? Because remember, before I couldn't get her to come to my house or nothing. But once she gave me a little something, I couldn't get rid of her. And she stayed underneath me all day, every day if I had to go someplace.
So I heard that wasn't the only pregnancy you had to deal with at a young age. You had a lot of abortions, whatnot.
Well, listen, I love kids. Now, the people who had the abortion, they had them because that's what they wanted.
Right,
I
right,
wanted
right.
them to keep the babies, but only one that was smart was Judy. I'm not really just biological father, I'm his father. I'm only father, here we are 30 years later, he calls me daddy and everything. He calls me and something bothers him, I look, man, this is what you gotta do,
He's like 30?
30, he's 30 years old now.
I found out I got an aunt. She's my great aunt. She used to do illegal abortions
Right.
before they were like legal in the
Is that
U.S.
right?
In outside of Boston, Lynn, Massachusetts. She used to like have people from the neighborhood come over and she would perform the abortion. She got thrown in jail for it.
Poor thing. Yeah. But like I said, the only time I've ever been in trouble was dealing with Judy, my ex-wife. So I went to go get her and the kids. Now, I'm gonna explain to you. This is the first time the public's gonna look. Her mother called me and said, "Bowe, go get your wife and kids." Think about it. Judy and the kids were wherever they were. 3 or 4 months, I didn't go bother them. But her mother told me to go get my family. That's why I wanted to go get them. If I kidnap you, why would I allow you to get out of the car and go into a restaurant where you can be with people? Crazy, come on. Anyway, that wasn't the deal. That should show people. I just wanted my family back. I wanted everything to be okay. I didn't want to hurt nobody or anything. Anyway, I did a year and a half in jail because of that. That was all a lie.
Where'd you do your time?
And a federal, Cumberland federal institution in Cumberland, Maryland. Yeah, but I'm an innocent man, and here we are, 20 years later. I don't bother people.
You a convicted felon?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I don't consider myself to be no felon. 'Cause that's a
You know you're a good
lie.
person.
That's a lie, man. Please. Think about it. I'm the only man that ever went to jail for go getting his kids. Think about it. I didn't, it wasn't my intention to hurt nobody. But
Kidnapping's a whole different thing than
yeah, she said I kidnapped
putting your
her.
family,
Yeah,
in
but
a
the
car.
thing is, she did me a favor. All she really wanted was the money. I gave her $10 million, and I don't know. Hey, do your thing, baby.
I'm sure people been asking you for money your whole life.
Yeah. And now she don't have no money.
And she's in North Carolina?
Yeah.
You talk to her anymore?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
She married some dude. He got $5 million from her, but she ain't have him sign a prenup, and
He took basically your money.
yeah, well, she God don't like ugly and care a little about beauty. So at the end of the day, what she did to me, he did to her. Everybody gets a turn.
Yeah.
I ain't mad, but God bless her.
So one more thing I want to touch on with your family is you had your older brother Henry,
Yeah.
and he was in the streets.
Hundo.
Hen dog?
Hundo.
My nickname's Hundo. I didn't even tell you.
Right. Hey, champ. My brother, Shirley. Mink, yeah. Okay, so.
What's that, a Klitschko?
That's his name, Ditchko. Ditchko.
Eh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, your brother, yeah. So he was out in the streets pimping and whatnot, right?
Well, I wouldn't say so much pimping, but, he was a ladies' man.
Okay. And I guess that's how he came down with HIV, and that's how he passed away.
I guess so. I mean, I guess nobody would never know what the deal was. But it's funny, man, because things happen. And watching him go through that situation slowed me down dramatically.
Yeah, because you start reevaluating what you're doing with your life.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah, but
Let's talk some boxing.
okay.
So I'm gonna go down a few different fights or whatnot and just tell you some funny things or some interesting stories that stick out.
But I want to tell you something before I forget. Take Barbara, my first girlfriend. Man, I mean, she was just so perfect for me.
Dark skin beauty.
Dark skin beauty. And Judy messed all that up, man. She messed that up. So,
You feel like you made a wrong decision or whatnot?
yeah, I guess the thing was, I would sit there and talk to Judy and tell her how I felt about if I had a father and how I would never leave my kids and things of that nature. And she realized I would be a good provider. So she allowed me that. Boy, she messed up something that was real. You know what I mean? My first love, I guess she ran Barbara away.
Tell you a funny story about my first girl.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about how you don't know much about this when you got Judy pregnant and or didn't get her pregnant and
Right, I
the
didn't get her
abortions
pregnant,
and
right.
whatnot. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing either. Neither did my girl.
You was stroking.
Yeah. so one night we go home. We go back to her dad's place, and nobody's home. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, at that age, like you just try to find a place where you can get it in.
That's right.
So I'm like, good, it's going down. And she said, you got a condom? And I was like, nah. We were drunk. We had been in like a dance or something. Nah, no condom. And she's like, well, we can't do it then. We had already done it a few times, but we used a condom every time.
Right.
You need a condom. So I'm like, damn. So I convince her that if I put Band-Aids across the top of my dick, 2 Band-Aids, and I just went to work. The next morning we woke up, she was swollen. I had cuts on my dick. It was a mess.
That mean fine, but y'all ain't make a baby though.
Nah. Band-Aids work. Nah.
All you had to do was, you know when you come, you get up off of that thing.
Exactly.
That's how I used to do it.
But I
man.
was like, 16 or something. I didn't know what
So
I was
old are
doing.
you now, man?
40.
Get out of there.
Yeah,
man.
turned 40 this year.
I got you about 10 years. I was born in 67, you was born in 77.
78.
78.
Yeah. My birthday was a couple months ago.
Man, you doing pretty good for yourself.
Not bad.
I wish I could show you my Barbara.
She alive? You know what you don't know nothing.
I haven't seen Barbara since 1981.
Damn.
No, I'm lying. Since 1986. Oh, man, you got a sister, man. You doing pretty good for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
She plays football, too. You ever heard of that lingerie football league?
No, that's it.
Girls running around, and they play in, like, little boy shorts and little top
I haven't heard
football
about
pads on. Yeah, she's a football player. She's beautiful.
Man, you got it going on. I wish I had your hand. I cut mine off.
Her last name's Galladay.
That's like she got a name like your last name.
Nah, we're not married.
No. But I'm saying it's close, isn't it?
Baricelli.
See, Galladay, Galladay.
Well, Galladay is like Irish.
I thought it was like your name.
Nah,
Italian.
you gotta end in a vowel.
Minka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baricelli. All right, let's get back to some boxing.
Okay.
You had a lot of fights where you had like very little time in between. They don't do that anymore. There's laws against that, right?
I think so because I was telling one of these guys just recently, and I fight 3 times a month.
Yeah, I heard you had 4 days in between a fight in the amateur days.
Oh, the amateur,
4 days.
You get me on
Twice in 1 week.
every day as amateur. There were tournaments I fought. Like say, I fought in a tournament called the Mayor's Cup in Washington, D.C. I had 5 fights. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
These are like 3 rounds, 5 rounds.
Right. Now, because I had 4 knockouts, I probably skipped Friday and fought that Saturday. But, I mean, as an amateur, you fought whenever they told you.
That's crazy.
You get no days off. Shit, you fought in a tournament. Like, I remember I fought in National Golden Glove. I fought every day except Sunday. That's 6 times a week. What are you talking about? Please.
Then 6 weeks.
No, 6 days.
But then when you became a pro, there was 6 weeks. There was a 6-week period where you fought. You went 8 rounds with Terrell Biggs.
Okay.
And then 10 rounds with Tony Tubbs.
Okay.
Both in a 6-week period. Nobody
Right.
fights like that anymore.
But then there were times when I fought a week apart as a professional. No, they don't do it like that.
Nah. Nobody has records like that now where they fought, 100 times and stuff.
I had a 204-7 record as an amateur.
204 and 7.
With 156 knockouts. I would go do tournaments, man. This is all I would do, look. Next.
Go to sleep.
And I would go in there and I would say, man, I'll go in and look at the chart. Wow. Robert Brown against Riddick Bowe. I wonder who the hell is Robert. And I would go on, what's your name? What's your name? Your name Robert? Robert.
You're up next.
Yep, it's a little noise. I say, Robert, pack your shit tonight. You go home in the morning. Why am I going home? I'm knocking your ass out tonight.
So you always had that gift of gab. You were always a talker.
Yeah, but I thought I was having fun, man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Going in, but what I didn't realize is that I was really psyching these guys out because all of them had more experience than me, and I wound up beating them.
Tell me about the time you were at a tournament. I think you were about 17, and you heard a guy behind you talking shit. And you turn around, and it's Ali.
No, he wasn't talking shit.
He was saying like.
He kept saying, "Come on, sucker. Come on, sucker." Now, I'm in New York City going to go. I'm in the final. This is the night we fighting for the championship. I'm fighting this guy. He look like he's a weightlifter. I mean, he got 4 knockouts. I got 4 knockouts. So I'm really thinking about this guy. So I'm trying to concentrate. And Ali comes and he says to me, "Come on, sucker.
Matt.
Come on, sucker." That's man, Gab, man. I'm concentrating on the fight. But he wanted to get me to turn around. So he chilled up for about 5 minutes. I'm still thinking about so and so. And then 5 minutes later, I had the same voice. come on, sucker. Come on, son. I think I can take you. But now I'm angry. I'm psyching myself out. I want to be mad for the fight. I told his mother. And it's Ali, man. Man, he gave me this big old hug, man. And I don't know what I was so nervous about, but he gave me this hug. Everything dissipated. I don't know, not the guy on 24 seconds. Ain't that something?
Inspired you.
Yeah. Well, see, I never told you the story about Ali. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be who I am today. A teacher brought a tape about Muhammad Ali. If I would have missed school that day, we would not be having this conversation. Anyway, so she brings this tape in, and we had to write an essay about it. So she let us watch the tape of Ali, all the stuff he went through, and things of that nature. But at the end of the tape, there's a guy in class, he's a bully, his name is Darrell Lane. He says, blatantly, I don't like Ali, I think that Ali do the faggot. I was somewhat intimidated by him, but I fell in love with Ali so quick. I said, man, you got to be crazy. Your mama was a faggot or whatever. And man, we started rubbing, man. And I just started doing it, then I saw Ali, and the teacher ran out to get some help, I guess. And when she came back, I got my first knockout.
You took out the bully.
Oh, I took him out. And so, as luck would have it, I never seen him no more after that. But one day, I'm standing on the corner. No, I'm standing in front of my building, and I'm about to go someplace. He walks up to me. He just say, man, you owe me some money. I don't recognize him because it's been so many years since I was taking my coat on. I'm about to whoop ass.
How many years later is this?
I got a thing. Okay.
You're the champ at this point?
About to become the champ.
All right.
Okay, me and my first wife, we moved to Newport Avenue. My mother lives around the corner. We just moved from my mother's house to our apartment. So I'm thinking it had to be maybe 9, 10 years later. Last time I seen him, we were 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
I'm in Brooklyn. I just started taking my coat off. He said, nah, man, I'm just joking with you. I say that because I'm the guy that helped you start boxing. What do you mean you helped me start boxing? Remember you had a fight with a guy in the classroom, his name was Darrell Lane? I'm that guy. Oh, okay. And then I started boxing right after that. He about to get another ass whooping, man. Yeah, okay.
So what was your relationship like with Ali? You got to know him over the years?
Well, I've seen Ali personally 2 times in my life.
Okay.
He's my idol. I guess he's the father I never had.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get in any trouble, so I never wanted to get in no trouble. But to make a long story short, what happened was, what happened? Okay.
He was your role model?
He was my role model. I tried to start trouble. But every time I seen him, he was always playful with me. Had the same type of personality. Now, the second time I saw him was at the White House. It was called the 900 Stars, don't forget it. Myself, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield. I'm trying to think. I think
was it people from all over sports, not just
people
boxing?
People that I had seen since I fought in the Olympics. There was a lot of people. Woman ruler, everybody was there.
Who was the president at the time?
Who was Bill Clinton?
Okay.
He got mad with me.
What'd he say?
Because I said, Mr. President, you know what? You and I got something in common. And
We both like cigars?
No. I said, well, you're the president, and I'm a heavyweight champion of the world. And for whatever reason, he didn't like that. He didn't like me
comparing.
He didn't like the comparison. But if you think about it, who do you think is more famous, the president or the heavyweight champion of the world?
It's close. Pretty damn close.
He didn't like that shit.
I'll tell you what, he wasn't on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You know how about that. So what else? So I had man, being in the public zone, I had a ball.
Let's talk about the first Elijah Tillery fight.
Elijah Tillery fight. Well, the first fight, I looked at Elijah, just like another opponent. I mean, I had no beef with him or anything like that. But once he kicked me in the ass, all that changed. You know.
He started fighting dirty.
What?
And no, he came at you in between rounds.
No. What happened was people didn't see this, so they don't understand what happened. The bell rings. Just like you're looking at me, he's looking at me. He does this to me. And
He blows you a kiss.
Right. So I backhand him. Fire. That's what happened. He kissed at me, and I backhand him.
And that's what started the brawl?
That's what started the fight. Well, I'm a man. What the fuck you doing kissing at me for? You know. So when I backhand, I tried to knock his teeth out of his mouth. Cause I tried to hit him as hard as I could. And I guess and if you watch the tape, you see after I backhand him, I'm thinking he'll go to his corner, and I'm gonna go to my corner. And he kicked me in the ass. And because when I was little, my brother and sister kicked me in the ass, it brought back so many bad memories. So the fight was on, and that's what happened.
There was shootings outside. I mean, that was crazy.
Everything, man. Elijah telling me.
So let's talk about your real good fights. Great fights.
Okay.
3 of them with Holyfield.
The real deal.
Now, a lot of people don't remember you're the only person to ever knock Holyfield out.
The first of them knocked him out.
First?
I'm the first.
Somebody did after you?
Oh, yeah. See, I made him soft.
Okay.
I knocked his ass out. Yeah. Evander, I think without Evander, I don't think people recognize me as being a champion. So I think he helped me a great deal to get to that point.
Fighting a big name like
yes.
him.
And he put up a great fight. But what people don't realize is that I was Evander's sparring partner before we fought.
I did hear that.
And so because I remember a lot of things he would do, but I was a young kid, 18, 19, and so I didn't think, he didn't realize that I had to style down pat. And because I remember everything he would do, you know, and the fight turned out to be great.
I think a lot of people don't realize that your only loss, that fight, first of all, the fan man flew into the ring.
The fight should have been canceled.
30-minute delay.
Or it should have been no fight.
I mean, you're already anxious, ready to fight. You're all fired up, you're ready to go, and this shit delays it for 30 minutes.
And that particular night in Las Vegas, the temperature was cold. I didn't have a top on or anything, but if you watch Evander, he had blankets. It was a setup, so.
And then you got your wife sitting ringside, pregnant. And she faints and gets taken out on a stretcher,
you know.
And then you got to fight.
Right, but
only loss of the Big Daddy's career, right there.
But I think that fight, to me, it's not a loss, because I was distracted. The fan man flew in. It's not a loss to me.
Yeah, I mean, arguably undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And you think about it. At that time, Evander was behind on point.
Yeah.
So and I never really got warmed up again after that. So, like you said, if I didn't win that fight should be a draw or it should be a no contest. I'm undefeated, baby.
Just reschedule the fight.
I'm the closest in the we did.
Well, and then you dominated him the third time.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No.
Second fight was the one that they gave him.
Right. And the third fight, I knocked him out.
Yeah. So I remember reading when I was a kid. I used to, at a certain point, I didn't want to drink or do drugs. I was so focused on school and sports, and I wanted to be a good kid, right?
Right.
So I found a couple athletes, yourself and Dominique Wilkins. Remember Dominique?
You know it was, yeah.
So I read an article.
He played basketball.
Atlanta Hawks.
Right.
And the human highlight film.
Mm-hmm.
And I read some articles where it said that you guys didn't drink alcohol, didn't do drugs, stuff like that, and that made me want to be like you guys. I remember reading this article.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, was this article legit? It said you're a one-woman man, you didn't drink, you didn't do drugs. I was just surprised because most heavyweight fighters there.
Well, I didn't become a one-woman man until 20 years ago. Maybe 20, 30 years ago. But teenager and a young man. I mean, I had a ball, man. I was
But
making-
you were drinking? I mean, you didn't drink? You never got to a point where you were into drinking?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I have done. Recently, I take a drink every now and then, but when I was
But coming
an
up, you
athlete,
never drank? That's interesting.
I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. All I did was stroke. So
I feel you on that.
yeah,
That was your vice.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you tried Lennox Lewis.
Pecan Tan. I call him Pecan Tan.
You inferred that he was gay.
He is gay.
He is?
He don't want nobody to know, but
Yeah.
he's gay.
Yeah.
Listen, I was in London. And we went to this party. And just like you and I sitting here, I didn't notice it at first. My wife says, "Ain't that Lance Lewis over there?" I said, "Well, I'll be damned. He over there hugging and kissing these dudes." Come on, man.
In London?
They butt rubbing and, man, if you could have saw what he was doing, he's a big dude. He's bigger than me, taller than me. You know, if you'd have saw him, you'd have been so big. Wow, look at this big dude. I can't believe it. And because of his size was really made us realize who he was.
I thought that was a mental game you were playing with him, just calling him
No,
soft.
no.
Oh, it was real. All right.
And the thing about me, listen, I don't like to talk about people, but I'm gonna tell you what. If I see it, I'm gonna speak on it. So that's what it is, man.
You lived over in England for a little while, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
No?
I'm an American.
I thought you went over there for a little bit.
I don't know why would you think that, baby. Listen,
What got you into the soccer then? I know you're a big soccer fan.
I was someplace, and I was in Canada. I think I was in Canada, and I was watching guys play soccer on TV and things of that nature, and that's how I become familiar with soccer.
Okay. I thought you spent some time over there.
No,
so-
sir.
Proud to be an American.
Oh, you better ask somebody.
So let's talk about that.
Ooh, oh.
Let's talk about that. You got
Uh-huh.
Semper Fi on your forearm.
Yes, sir.
You were in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir. I love the Marine.
So when you retired, you decided you wanted to be a Marine.
No.
Well, you-
I retired. I decided I want to be a Marine back in 1976. I remember just like it was yesterday. I was watching Sugar Lee win the gold medal. After the gold medal, we went to a commercial, and the commercial was with John Wayne, and John Wayne was giving the troops commands to do certain things. And me as a kid, 9 years old, I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. Now, here we go, 5 years later, I get into boxing. Ali in the boxing cast all that out. But when I retired at 28, I said, well, maybe I can change the hands of time. Let me go to the Marine Corps. And so that's what happened. But me as a man, 28 years old, there was certain things I wasn't going to bow down to. Like with another man on my face all day telling me what to do, I didn't realize how hard that would be for me. So that's why I came home, because I didn't want to drop the drill instructor. That's the God's honest truth, man. That's why I came up out of there.
I figured you watched. That was my take on it. I figured you saw some military movies and that kind of inspired you. It was a John Wayne movie.
Yeah, I always wanted to be a Marine from 9 until I went in. But I didn't think it would be so hard, because we get up and run every day and all that. Like I said, the hardest part for me was having a guy on my face when he spit on me sometimes. Man, you got the wrong. I had to tell him one day. I said, listen, sir, too close, you're spitting on me. Get out of my face. And I just knew that. I thought I could deal with it, but once you there, it's totally different, man. And I'm 6'5". This guy, he come on to my chin, and he's spitting. I can't look at him. I mean, I had no problem with it, but they don't want you to look at him. They think, because if you look at him, then you're trying to intimidate him. I was, sir, spitting on me. If you don't want to be in a situation, it's best you back up off me, bro. You was too close. Then he spit the man, listen. I'm not 18. I ain't with this bullshit. You better back up off me.
Yeah.
He backed up off me. And next thing I know, I was going home, man. I don't know what he wouldn't have said to the people. But he said, probably said, look, man, this big dude, he ain't the one. We may get him up out of here. I was so bewildered because there had been several guys in the platoon where they sent to over here, over there, and you ain't see him no more. Well, you seen him, but he was with another platoon. With me, gone. So they ain't give me. I wonder why. If I was doing something wrong, why was I treated in that manner? Next day, I was home like I never left anything, man. I couldn't believe it.
So I got to bring up somebody that I used to be friends with. Somebody you know, Buster Mathis Jr. You see Buster around?
Yeah, I see. He and I spoke on the phone not too long ago. I've always liked him. I think he's a nice guy. We fought.
Yep.
Things happened.
No contest, right?
There was no contest, but he don't. I know who the better man was. There should be another knocking on my record, but.
When I was in college, and right after college, I used to bartend down in Coconut Grove in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And Buster used to live in the Grove, and he used to come in every night to the place I worked, the Italian restaurant. Right. And he used to hang out there every day with this girl. He's there every day. And so I used to just talk to him every day in there.
And I'm going to tell you something that you don't know. I went to college too, and I have a degree. Guess what I got my degree?
School of Hard Knocks?
University of Hard Knocks.
University. You got your master's.
Yeah, guess what I got my degree?
Pimp and Hoe degree?
Wrong answer. Kick-assology.
Kick-assology. I knew it was close.
It was close.
All right. Talk about the Larry Donald press conference.
Larry Donald. Well, you see the thing about Larry.
Check it out on YouTube. You made his face look like it was like a ping pong match between your two fists.
What people don't really realize is that I was really mad with Larry because he could do Ali better than me.
Really?
He said, come on, sucker. And he was just running it down to me.
Dressed up all smooth in his suit and shit.
And I ain't want to hear that particular day. I'm trying to get ready for the fight, and he run up at the mouth. Listen, man, lighten up. And he didn't take heed to what was taking place, so I had to pull the trigger, man.
You gave his jaw a two-piece.
But I'm glad he fought the way he fought. I'm going to tell you why, because when he rolled with the punches, I didn't knock his teeth out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
And you still got to, they didn't reschedule the fight or nothing.
Right, so I'm just glad he, rolled with the shot. If he ain't rolled with him, teeth would have been everywhere.
So Galata went after your nuts over and over. Everyone knows that one.
What a bad memory.
So was he the dirtiest fighter you fought?
No.
No?
But he's the only guy that blatantly hit me as he did. See, the thing is, you can talk about boxing, but you got to do boxing. See, the thing is, he couldn't handle the heat. When he got in the ring, he didn't know what to do with me. So instead of letting me knock him out, he figured he hit me low and he was done. That's the quickest way he could get out of it is be disqualified, and that's what he did.
Who's the dirtiest fighter you fought?
If I told you, man, you're not gonna believe. Evander Holyfield.
Yeah? Well, it was a headbutting and shit?
A headbutting, he uses elbows, he'll push you off to get a little space between them and come out with a shot. He's the dirtiest.
What's your relationship like with him?
Oh, we like brothers up in here.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, we fought each other. There was no love there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep it real with you 100%. He was the dirtiest. Like, I'm going to tell you one. See this right here?
Yeah.
That's a headbutt.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He keep telling me, yeah, I hit Riddick balls so hard, I bust him over. No, your head bust me open.
If you see the scar over Riddick's
show,
eye.
Right, I can show you the tape. You go back to him. He hit me with a headbutt and try to camouflage it with a punch. So he think I'm a fighter. I know the difference. No one has ever. Matter of fact, when you hit me, when you're hitting me, I will get cut here, not here. So he did this with his head.
So let's move on to the Keepin' It a Hundo. What's up?
You know they used to call me back in Brooklyn?
I don't know.
The BNK.
The BNK. I'm not gonna say it because I think it might be a word I'm not allowed to say.
The big nigga killer.
I knew it. I knew it. That's why I didn't say it.
The BNK.
We've now reached the Keepin' It a Hundo segment of the show. I'm gonna ask you some questions. The point of my show is to keep it 100.
I'ma keep it 100.
What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Batman and Robin.
Batman?
I mean, because that's the first show I can remember that I always wanted to watch. My mother said, if you be good, I'm gonna let you watch Batman and Robin. If you do something, you're not gonna watch it. So Batman and Robin was my thing.
That's cool. Have you ever listened to a podcast?
Have I ever listened to a what?
Listen to a podcast. Like what we're doing right now. This is a podcast.
Have I ever listened to
You ever listen to one?
Not to mine. Not
I heard one about you.
Really?
There's a podcast about you on, it's called Crime and Sports.
Right.
And it's about athletes that got in trouble with the law.
Right.
You never heard that?
No.
Okay. Find it interesting to find out what it's like to listen to something like that. So what it is it's these two comedians.
Right.
And they sit around and make jokes and tell like your story.
Oh, they got jokes.
Oh
okay.
yeah, they got jokes. They go from childhood. They talk about your past. They don't joke about your past.
I didn't have a past. How can they talk about me? I didn't have a past at the time. You know.
And then they talk about your career. You know, it's not all bullshit. It's all, you know, it's a little bit of truth, and then it's some jokes and bullshit. But
they got jokes.
Found it interesting. I want to know what it was like to sit and listen to somebody, you know, do that. So you joined the Marine Corps at age 29.
28.
28. What was your favorite military movie?
I forget the name of the movie, but I guess the public would know which one I'm talking about. John Wayne starred in the movie.
Okay, so it's that one we talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't know John Wayne like that. A little before my time. You got 10 years on me.
Yeah, he was giving the troops a command. They was, sir, yes, sir, and everybody was turning.
I'll ask my dad. My dad don't know. You did some kickboxing in Thailand.
Right.
Did you ever get tricked by a lady boy when you were over in Thailand?
Absolutely not. I had my wife with me.
I haven't been to Thailand, but I've been to some other parts of Southeast Asia, and them lady boys, they'll get you. They didn't get me. No, they didn't get me. I stayed away from the women over there because I didn't want to make a mistake.
Right.
I just ate the food and had some drinks and laid on the beach.
Let me find out.
Yeah, man.
Lady boy.
You got to be careful over there.
It would be a situation.
I don't want to be in that situation.
I would have another write-up. Riddick Bowe attacks the lady boy.
Right.
Guess how we could tell Riddick did it? He got his teeth in his hand.
Do that noise again with the punch. Okay, every time you hear that, that's Big Daddy laying the smack down, and he still got quick hands, and his hands look like two small refrigerators.
Let that act right.
God, please. I asked X before we did the podcast. I said, is there anything I can't ask him about? Because I want to leave here with all my teeth. And he said, you good. He said, he's a good dude.
Keep it going.
All right, so do you hate anybody?
No, I don't. People may think I would hate my ex-wife. I don't hate her. I say, God bless her. Keep it moving. Rock woman, God bless you, my brother. Because I feel like, he sold me out for HBO. I had a $100 million contract with HBO. They gave him maybe $10 million, and he convinced me to retire before that. But it's okay. I'm not mad with him.
When's the last time you saw Rock Newman?
The last time I saw Rock Newman had to be over 20 years ago.
Okay.
But he always said he loved me. I was his little brother. Before I got married to my second wife, how come I haven't seen you, Rock? I haven't seen you before, no sense. So you tell me.
What would you say if you saw him?
Hey man, how you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk or have animosity. Cause I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm a Christian, and I have to forgive him or whoever. But God say I don't have to deal with you. So how you doing? God bless you. Keep it moving.
How'd you know that was gonna be my next question? I was gonna ask you, how do you believe in God?
I
Your
believe-
relationship with God.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
100%. All day, every day. See, and I truly, that's what has saved me. even throughout the years, I be so mad sometimes, and someone stopped me. What stopped me? I think it was the Lord stopped me.
Top 5 rappers of all time. You come from Brooklyn,
Brooklyn in the house.
home of rap.
Let me see. I never thought about that question. Who would be my top 5? Curtis Blow, Run DMC, Biggie Smalls, maybe Jay-Z, and who else can I think of?
You probably.
I thought I went to school with him for so many years, but we didn't go to the same school. I'm thinking it was Biggie Smalls. It was big, but we didn't go to school because I thought we did.
Yeah, he's probably a few years younger than you.
Right.
Well, he would have
I
been.
realized that, yeah. But I'm telling you, man, there was a guy in school.
He looked like him.
Oh, man, what you talking about? Man, he looked like he was his twin, you ask me.
You probably know a bunch of these guys though. You met them back when you were the champ. Some of the rappers, right?
Yeah, I met so many people. I met so many people I don't even remember.
I bet.
Because, there's so many people. You can't, listen, I know I met the Pope. I met Nelson Mandela. And the reason why I can remember these guys, I met the President Clinton. The reason why I can remember them because there wasn't a lot of them.
Right.
But if it's a lot of people, a lot of times, like, you just can't remember everybody.
Is that a Klitschko over there?
Remember that's Ivan Disco. Remember when he came out, he's
Yeah.
Disco, Ivan Disco.
Oh, okay. So you didn't roll with like big celebrity crews. You didn't have like a bunch of friends who were all in the music business or Hollywood.
Well, Jay-Z. I've been in his studio in New York. We were kind of cool. But I guess over time, they just fade out. You don't stay in contact with them. Who else contact? What's his name? Chris Brown. There was a lot of guys, man, that I could have hung out with, but I guess I just chose not to. You know why that fly keep getting on you? You know why he stay around you?
Why is that?
Fly like shit. Let me find.
I showered before I came.
I'm just messing with
Who's the craziest dude you ever met?
you. Crazy dude, Mike Tyson.
I can't argue with that. Who's the toughest guy you ever fought?
Van the Holyfield.
Okay. So
You know why I say Van the Holyfield? He like a tie man. He take a licking and keep on chipping.
right. I mean that's why not many people knocked him down.
Real deal. He knocked me down, I knocked him down. When I told him, I said, champ, if I go down, I'm getting up. If you go down, you're going to stay down. Well, in all honesty, he got up, but he went down again.
If you could get in the ring with anybody, like who do you wish you had fought?
In my prime, who do I wish I would have fought?
Yeah.
Well, see, it's funny. I kind of felt like everybody that was in my era, I felt like I fought them, but
Right.
I was Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis would be the only person I didn't fight.
That makes sense.
But I would have dusted his junky ass off. That's why he never signed the contract. And even here we are, 30 years later, I don't hate him, God bless him, and I have a policy. He got to keep my name out of his mouth. You know why? If he keeps my name out of his mouth, I'm gonna do him a big favor. And I'm gonna keep my foot out his ass. Absolutely.
What about Tommy Morrison? He came up in the same era as you.
I believe they sparred him to see if he would have the upper hand in doing certain things. It didn't turn out that way, so they never actually.
Was he a boxer? Or he was a brawler.
Well, he was both. It depends on what he was doing at that particular time. You got the better hand, and they wouldn't ask you. So I believe when we sparred, because I got the better hand, I would never ask to fight him. That's what that is.
Because they knew. They already knew.
He tried his hook on me, never get me with the hook. I would always slip the hook or catch the hook and count him. He was right in front of me, and so he never made the fight. But if they thought he had the better chance, they would have wanted to make the fight.
When they came out and said he had HIV and people didn't want to fight him, would you have fought him when he had HIV?
I mean, look, I'm scared of the dark. If somebody got AIDS, no, I'm not. I don't think I would. No, I don't think I would.
If you had a chance to sleep with any woman on the planet, who would it be?
Whoever she is, she got to have a big butt. Let me see, who would it be? Well, I've seen somebody on TV with a nice booty, but I don't remember her name, man. Pretty face, because I don't deal with any booger bags. If you got to keep it moving, you know, see, I'm a professional fighter. I think I look bad enough, so if you ain't pretty to me, you have me.
You never had a celebrity crush? Somebody that you were like, you know what? I
liked a lot of them.
I like, my first was Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson?
I loved her.
Yeah, but she had a booty like Janet. She got a booty like Janet, she can get it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I don't know why I got such a big butt fetish, but I don't eat it. I don't eat it though. You gotta understand.
Oh nah.
You don't eat the butt either?
Nah.
But a lot of guys tell me, I gotta know how to taste that.
You know Trick Daddy the rapper?
Yeah.
He's talking about eat a booty gang. He's like talking about you should eat the booty, eat the booty, eat the booty.
Wrong somebody, I can't do that.
Crazy.
How you eat the booty? I know shit come out the booty. Not gonna happen. I can't do it, bro.
What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for a guy who loved everybody. Yeah. And I guess being with Ali, he was always playful. He just loved everybody. You know? He wanted everybody to be treated like they should be treated. And I guess the only difference between his career and my career is that he was born in an era where they had a lot of controversy about
civil rights,
you know, black people. I don't have that here. So.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that you took trips to Somalia.
Yeah.
You dropped off $1.8 million worth of medical supplies, food for these people, clothing.
People forget about that.
Yeah, people don't know all the goodwill that you did. You did a lot of good stuff, and you should be proud of that.
I love people. Well, to me, man, no matter what people think, and the money that we have here, you can't take that to heaven. So it's best that we spend it here and show God that we try to be decent people. That's all I'm trying to do, you know.
You bought up a whole block of houses in Maryland for your family.
Yeah, how about that?
Right?
Yes, sir.
Those houses still there?
The houses.
You own any of them?
But I don't own houses no more.
No.
Well, unfortunately, I guess if you're not formed a certain way, you don't know what to do with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, fall to the wayside.
If there's a movie about Riddick Bowe, who plays Riddick Bowe?
My son Julius. I think he plays me. He looks just.
He looks like you. He's about your size.
Man, the same size and everything. And his mentality when he speaks. I was listening to a tape the other day, and I didn't realize it was my voice. But I said, listen to Julius. He sounds just like
How old is he?
Julius, I guess he's 23.
What's your death row meal? If you're on death row, you get one meal. What are you eating?
Hold on, I'm gonna have me some lobster, some shrimp, and a nice steak.
Love it. Surf and turf.
You know, and some Hennessy.
A little Hennessy?
A little Hennessy.
I like some Henny too. Henny on the rocks or Henny neat?
No, I need the neat, baby.
All right.
Cause that ice takes the flavor away.
You have any regrets?
Yes, getting married the first time.
Yeah.
My only regret is marrying my first wife. I really didn't know much about marriage or the games people play, because as you well know, she came to me pregnant. I thought I was marrying a virgin. And so, and then think about the relationship she messed up that I had with Barbara. That's my first love. That's the woman I should have married.
Yeah, the one that got away.
The one that got away. No, she didn't get away. Judy came into the picture with that bullshit, and she kept it moving.
I have a friend who married a girl, and when he married her, he took in the girl's little sister. So like they became basically like a family.
Right.
He found out 3 years into the marriage that the little sister was her daughter, and she had her at a really young age and didn't want to tell him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And of course they got divorced. You know.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna trust somebody after something like that?
Well, Riddick Bowe Jr. is not my biological kid. So I mean, and it happens. What you gonna do? People not honest as you thought they were.
So do you feel like you were cursed because you had a dream? You had one dream, and that dream was to be the heavyweight champ of the world, and you conquered that at such a young age.
How can I be cursed if I conquered it? No, I never thought I was cursed.
But then once you conquer that dream at such a young age, what do you do the rest of your life?
Keep rolling with the punches.
How can you
baby.
be happy?
You can be happy. You gotta keep living. You can't stop because you're not champion again. Think about it. I wasn't champion for how long in my life? And I look at it like this. That was a part of my life. I had fun. I'm gonna tell you about some of the things, but I had fun, man. I had a ball. I probably did some things I wasn't supposed to do or that I shouldn't have done, but I had a ball, man.
I just think it's got to be tough to reach that height, to reach that level in life, and then try to match that with anything. Like nothing compares to that, you know, being the champ of the world. Nothing.
Nothing compares to it, but I mean, I guess, you know, you go through stages, and of course you have certain experiences when you look at it. I mean, it was a blessing, but I'm still human, so you know, I gotta make it do what it do. You know.
Well, I can honestly say I like you and I respect you and I appreciate you sitting down with me today. And you're a good person.
Well, thanks a lot. And guess what? Between me and you, the feeling is mutual.
I appreciate that.
My man. So you ain't tell me, what's that all about?
These are my grandparents.
Okay.
That's Pasquale and Teresa.
Really, Pasquale. My mother used to call my nephew Pasquale.
Was his name Pat?
His name is Joey. Well, his real name is Horace. We call him Joey for short, then she used to call him Pasquale.
Why is that? You know?
Pasquale, come in. He become, and that was his nickname, Pasquale.
Yeah. He was my favorite, man. You know what he said? He said he'd only been full, like eating. He loved to eat. He only been full once in his life.
Really?
And my grandmother said, no, I remember one other time. You've been full twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't
that crazy?
Twice. Have I ever been full? Absolutely. Man, listen. I'm from the ghetto. I mean, if you name it, Russia, Poland, Korea, I've been to countries that I never thought I would go to.
What was your favorite place to visit?
Probably Italy. Well, let me tell
Italy's
you.
my favorite.
See?
My favorite.
When's your birthday, man?
January 8th.
Oh, I'm August 10th. In the long run, we wouldn't get along.
We get in trouble?
No, we wouldn't get along because my first wife, her birthday's in January.
Why you gotta put me with her? I ain't no Judy. I ain't no Judy.
No, because I'm thinking. See, she always thought she was so smart. And she wanted to always dominate.
Try to manipulate you.
Right, so. And I guess she did because I married her because I thought she was a virgin. She was pregnant by somebody else. Here we are 30 years later, I'm still talking about her. You know what I mean? But she did me a favor. Because my wife now, she's God sent, you know what I mean?
Tell me about your wife now.
We've been married 20 years.
Where'd you meet her?
I was at a restaurant one day, and either she was coming in or I was going out. I'm really not sure. But I remember.
Where was it? In
Washington D.C. I lived in D.C.
Yeah.
So
A long time.
hold the door for her. And I said, hey, how you doing? What's your name? She said, my name is so-and-so. And she wouldn't give me a number. She wouldn't talk to me and whatnot. I was a little bewildered because anybody I tried to holler at, normally I couldn't really give me their number. So that was different. And then she was a Christian. She was going to church, but she wouldn't give me a number. But I know another girl who knew her, and I guess the girl figured where she gave her my number and she called me and we started to talk. It took me 3 months to get it. So I guess, I really liked her and whatnot.
She your age?
Yeah. But she's the older man.
She's older than you?
Yeah.
You got kids with her?
About 1 month. We got a daughter.
Oh,
together.
okay.
1
You got a
month.
daughter together.
And she was such a pretty little thing, man. She made my day. But life is what it is. You gotta, play the card that you do.
You want to grab something to eat over at the Hot Rock today?
Yeah, we go over there. Let me see what time is it. What time
It's
is it?
almost 12:30.
I'm running late.
Grab some lunch.
See, that goes to show how much I enjoy talking to you. I normally 12 o'clock I'm out.
Man, I could do this. I could do this for hours. There's so many things. I probably miss so much stuff, but
Yeah. So what else you wanna?
We're probably good. Yeah, we're good. I mean, this don't have to be the last time we speak, and we can speak
absolutely.
off mic too. You're friends with X, you're friends with me.
Yeah, we boy. And this turned out to be much better than I anticipated, man.
Yeah, what'd you think I was gonna be doing?
I'm not sure. See, I guess I thought you would have a suit on, but you relaxed like I am, so you all right.
I'm a dude. I'm a regular dude.
Right. Hey, Jesse. I'm about to go to lunch, Jesse.
Now, guests of the Keepin' It a Hundo podcast do not receive payment upon appearance. However, I do provide lunch or dinner or whatever need be. So we headed across the street to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, and we grabbed a 2-pound Cantonese lobster and some fried rice, and we talked a little bit more. And the champ wanted to send a message to the ladies out there.
So over the years, you broke a lot of hearts. I've heard the stories, and you left a trail of tears across the world, different countries, different cities. What would you like to say to all the ladies out there that you broke their hearts?
Well, I would just truly like to say, and this is coming from the heart, that I'm sorry. I didn't mean no harm, and I'm just really sorry for breaking their hearts. Hope they forgive me for that.
Spoken like a true gentleman.
He also wanted to take the time to address his children, which he's estranged from, or most of them he's estranged from at the moment, and also take the time to discuss his kidnapping conviction or interstate domestic violence conviction back in 2000.
You have 5 kids?
I have 5 biological kids.
Yep.
And one that's not mine.
Yep.
And his name is Riddick Bowe Jr.
Yep. And you talked to me off mic about some of the relationships have been strained over the years, but how much love you still have for them.
I love all my kids without question. The thing was, I would get up and take them to school every morning. We stop at the store and they got whatever they want, and then I would take them to school and we'd do the same thing coming home. I used to sit and talk with them, and I just love my kids, and I don't want nobody to think that I was gonna hurt them or do anything like that. I don't want people to think that about me, because I love my kids. If I didn't love them, I wouldn't have had them.
And you ended up doing 18 months for them.
Right. I didn't, they wanted my kids to testify and stuff like that, so I didn't want that. So I went on and took a plea and things of that nature. I didn't want to put my kids through that.
What was the charge that you were facing?
Interstate domestic violence. But I never hurt my kids or anything, so why did I get that particular charge? I don't know, but I guess it is, but it's been 20 years ago. I guess
And you haven't been in trouble since?
before Norton.
You did 18 months in a federal correctional facility
Cumberland,
in
right,
Cumberland, Maryland.
Yes, sir. Cumberland is a facility for men who done bad things, but I ain't. Well, I'm gonna say I didn't do nothing. I don't believe I did nothing bad, but I did 18 months.
You meet anybody good in there?
Anybody good?
You make any
Listen,
friends?
Absolutely not. Listen, now them guys that was in there, they went there for, for a range of different things. I probably had the least charge. Listen, let me show you something. When I went in there, I seen faces. When I came out, those were the same faces that was still in there.
Of course.
I know how much. No, I don't think you understand. Nobody that I know when I went in there
Got out.
got out.
Yeah.
So when I left, they were still in there.
Well, most people who get sent to prison do 3 years or more, because you go to county if you're doing less than 3 years.
So why did I do
Strange.
18?
Yeah.
I don't know. My first charge.
Federal prison's different though, I
My
guess.
first charge, my only charge. Yeah, I can't deny that. Yeah, I was the one that went and got him because I loved him. I wasn't gonna hurt nobody, but 18 months, man, please. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real with you. There are a lot of people who are bitter because you treat them like they're animals or dogs or what have you. But I still love everybody. I'm not bitter. And my ex-wife, God bless her, I hope everything's okay for her and the kids. I mean, I'm not bitter, but I just know that at that time, I was treated wrong. I shouldn't have done 18 months. My first time, and there are guys who done a whole lot of horrible things way before I did anything, you know what I mean? And again, the other thing is this is, before that incident took place, I never done anything. Since that incident, I haven't done anything. So what does that tell you?
You got a big heart, man. You got a big heart.
And I still love everybody. I'm not mad with them. I'm not gonna let the system or people change my view on the world. I love everybody and everything, if the truth be told.
Wow, what a life Riddick Bowe has lived. A lot of ups and downs, but he remains positive. I really hope he can resolve some of the issues he has with his family. They're very important to him, and he made that clear throughout the day. I've met a lot of interesting people in my life, but this one's definitely up there. At one point, he was the toughest man in the world. He's the heavyweight champ. He's like 6'5", 300 pounds now. You should see the size of his hands. Just a physically imposing human being. By the time you hear this, episodes of Keepin' It a Hundo should be available on YouTube. I'm going to record some of them. Video, record some of them. I'll probably just post the audio on YouTube at this point. So look for those. And my next guest will be Jimmy Banos Jr., the executive chef and owner of The Purple Pig, a great restaurant in Chicago. I'd like to thank everybody who's been sharing the podcast and supporting the podcast. Big shout out to my boy Porno Pete, a.k.a. The Pornographer. And lastly, couldn't have made this podcast happen without my boy X, Xavier Powell. He's the one that made this thing happen, and you're going to hear him on one of the podcasts one of these days. Funny dude, entertaining dude with lots of stories. Now let's talk some Celtics. They took down the Bucks. Everybody said they couldn't do it. They were shorthanded. If you heard on episode 11, I made a bet with my guest, Raja Bell. We bet that if the Celtics make it out of the first round, I will be appearing on Off the Bench with Cannell and Bell, Raja's podcast with Danny Cannell. So I'll be a guest on today's episode. It's released on Friday, and it's Off the Bench with Cannell and Bell on CBS Sports. Look for me on that. And look for the Celtics to keep putting it to these teams that underestimate them. They play with heart. You got Terry Rozier throwing up gang signs. You got Marcus Smart. The guy couldn't throw the ball in the Mystic River from the Zakin Bridge, but he makes winning plays. Great Great to see the Celts get up early in this series and see if they can hold on and pull it out and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Thanks for listening. Please rate the podcast if you haven't. On Apple Podcasts, Keepin' It a Hundo. See you next week.
Just can't quit because one of these homies Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy.